Hi guys, I hope you're all good and well. Well, in today's lesson or tutorial or practice tutorial, we'll be creating a banking application. On the first steps, what I will be going through with you guys, there's a PowerPoint presentation where I've coded the code on the PowerPoint presentation. So we just go step by step in terms of what is it needed, in terms of how to implement or code our banking application. So the first thing that we need to do is to create our banking application by importing. That will be our first step, by importing our library dot util dot scan. Remember that your public class should correspond to the naming file that you've said, in whenever in your in whichever your application or your file extension you've saved. Remember, your file extension will be Java. It will be a banking application.java. It should correspond with your public class. That is important, that you should know. Or application, and what we need to do. And also, our methods is public static void main. Okay, the next thing will be we need to create a constructor for this object, which is the banking account. And within our object, we need to initialize our string, our characters, the display name and the account number. So what we will do, creating our constructor, banking account, bank account object equals to new bank account. So you can change this and insert your own name. It could be any name. It does not mean that you should follow what I'm doing. You can just change, be creative, insert your name, it's still fine. And also, let's just check the syntax. Okay, the syntax, also the ID number. So the ID number, it will be the ID number that I've provided. It will be BA001, doesn't matter. And also we need to, okay, so now what we need to do, we are done with, we need to initialize our object so that it could correspond to the show menu, where to have the features that we have, that will create in the later part of this video. So that those show menu features, we've got 5: your withdrawal, your deposit, the previous transaction, and then lastly its exit. So those are the options that we would create within our object. So what we'll do, we will show menu, and that's it. So our next part of this video will be, creating the public class for our banking application. Okay, so now we just have to create the class which will initialize it as the bank account, since we've created an object of a bank account. So now let's create that. Since we've created a constructor for a bank account, so now let's create a class for bank account. So these are just your primitive. You've got your primitive and our text, our reference tabs, data types. So in our primitive data types, you know that primitive, when we talk about primitive, we refer to numbers. So we've got our int primitive previous transaction. Our string will represent the reference type. So this is what you should do. Int previous transaction, string customer name, customer ID, bank accounts, so within our class that we've created, inside our class, we've got attributes, which is our string name and the string, which is the string this is the customer name, and the string customer ID. So that symbolizes that. And also we have we need to initialize to say the customer name, is customer name, and customer ID, it's equals to customer ID. So we have done initialize that. So this is just the attributes that are within our class. So we have initialized that the customer name is equals to CNAME, that is within our class, and the customer ID, it's the reference as customer ID, as you can see. So now we're moving on to the later stage on our next PowerPoint presentation, which is slide 6, and we'll continue with slide 6 on shortly. So now on PowerPoint, on our slide 6 on the PowerPoint presentation, we have our methods. The first method is the deposit method. So in this instance, we want our application or the code itself or the program to run the method that we want to initialize. So deposit int amount, So on our within our method, we've got a logical operator, the if else statement. So within our if else if statement, we've got the logical operator not equals to. So this logical operator simply means does not equals to. So the amount inside is not equals to 0. So you need to make sure that there is no space in between. If there is space, you'll encounter an error whilst you try to execute your program. So these are just fundamentals that you need to understand and you need to apply them. So now what we want to do, we're going to add amount and previous transaction equals to amount and doesn't matter how this just. So that's it, we are done with slide 6. Let's move on to slide 7. We also include the void in this instance. We're going to minus our balance with the amount. This, so within this method, this is going to what this when we initialize or wanna withdraw, when the user wants to withdraw a certain amount, the method itself, it will display this. So the function or the functionality within this method, the balance, you need to bear in mind that the function, what will be happening behind the scene is that the balance will minus the amount. So this is what is going to happen within this method. So let's move on to our next slide, which is slide 8. Slide 8 also, we need to include the get previous transaction. This transaction is greater than 0. Its previous transaction is greater than 0. Then the system out print should system.out.print, and then it should print it should print deposited. It should print deposited plus the previous transaction. So in this method, if the previous transaction is greater than 0, the outcome, the deposited should print out the deposited, which you need to add that with the previous transaction. So or else if the statement else if the statement previous transaction is less than 0, let's move on to slide 9. Slide 9. Okay, perfect. System dot out withdraw. This is a method also, the math absolute, which will print out the positive value. Absolute that's it. Else. No transaction occurred. No transaction occurred. System dot print that. Okay, so can Control S. Let's move on to slide 10. So now we will include a method where it will display all the show menu. So now void show menu. We have the character. We have the character of an option. This is just a value, which simply means it doesn't symbolize anything, but it's just a value, a character value. And also we need to include the scanner. So this will also help us in terms of executing the functions that we have within our show menu method. So when the user would want to choose any method or any functions within the show menu, it's much the method will display or will execute as we have programmed or initialized within our program. So now let's just include system dot out dot print ln dot println to make things much more easier and quicker. Welcome. So this will obviously be the first option when you prompt in to that banking application. Obviously, when you log into the banking application, it will display this message. The customer name, and what we need to do. Let's just make things much more system. Copy that. Control V. It's much more easier. ID is customer ID. So within our system print and print line is that within what it will display your ID. What is your ID is, it will display the customer ID that we have referenced or initialized within the first part of the video, where we initialize the object within our object, or we initialize two string characters, the customer name and the customer ID. So moving on, we also we have okay, let's do this. So this will be our A dot check balance. Okay, let's do this just to make it much more easier and simple. Copy V. We'll just make things much more easier and change here to deposit and Control V. That will be C. C, it's withdraw, and CD, it will be previous transaction, and lastly we will have E for exit. E for exit, when we want to exit our program. So now We are done with slide 10. Let's move on to slide 11. And slide 11, the do while method. So in the do while method, it will execute system dot out dot print, and then okay, inside this is just okay. System print line, enter option, noise, enter option, enter option, and we're just breaking it so that this functionality, it's more of, you know, making your code look as you'll see it once we execute it, how our display, or in terms of how we would want our display, where we can, you know, enter our options using the scanner library. So it's more of structuring your program, the application itself, and also after doing that, option, scanner, next. System dot out dot print, and then okay. Moving on to slide 12. So now this option gives us the option to switch. If, let's say, for instance, we would want to choose an option for A, for instance, A, which symbolizes check balance, or if you want to choose for C, which will symbolize withdraw, and so forth. So moving on to slide 12, the switch option, the switch option, the switch option is case A, case A, that's case A, okay. System, let's check system dot print line, okay. System dot print, okay. Let's check and verify from our program. Okay. Let's just copy and paste. Let's just copy and paste. let's just copy and paste. Balance is equals to balance. Okay, and also let's just copy out this. Okay, so now what we'll do, because of now we'll use the same concepts in terms of using switching the option from case A, B, C, and D and E. We'll just have to copy this and paste and just change to B, and move on to slide 13. Enter an amount. The only thing that is changed, enter an amount to deposit, and okay, let's check to okay, 4. Enter an amount. Okay, in this instance, let me change here. Enter an amount to deposit, and that's it. That's the only change. And moving on to KC. KC, enter an amount to withdraw. Let's just enter amount to withdraw. Let's check. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Oh, perfect. Yes. Perfect. Now, what we need to do, let's check what needs to be done after enter amount withdraw. Okay. Within amount to scanner dot next and withdraw amount to, and we break the line. Remember when we did on when you created your web design, there was a tag that you use in terms of breaking. So same, it applies the same concept in this design. So break the line. So moving on to case D, same concept, case D. Okay, let's just use case D, KSD, it's system, KSD, it's system print line, and the second line it's get previous transaction. Okay, no. And system line, and these, and break. And case E. So in case E, we only use asterisks. Okay, and then that's it. We delete all these, and that's it. Default system dot out dot print line invalid ocean. Please enter again. And while option is not equal to E, and system dot out dot print thank you for using our services. And that's it with our code. Let's execute and check whether. Let's execute. First thing is first, what we need to do, let's check our bank application. Okay, no, this is not the one. Let's go to Java project, banking application. Yeah, that's it. CMD. Yep. CMD. Java C. Let's compile. Banking application dot Java. Okay, good thing we've got. The good thing is that we've got 8 errors, so our 8 errors is within. Let's start with line 21. Line 21. Good thing there is errors. Line 21. Let's check line 21. Line 21. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's control and save and eliminate. So now I think we've got 7 errors. Our 7 errors are okay. Let's go to line 28. Line 28. Okay, also same mistake. Control and save. Line 28. we've got only 6 errors. Now let's go back and check our errors. Oh, I think I know what could be our errors within our show menu. Let's check. I know what could be our error on our let's check. Oh yes, I know what could be our error. Yes, think we left those errors. Okay, let's control and save. Okay, let's just make space. Let's go back. Okay, there's only one error now we have. So with the errors that we had, the 6 errors, as you have seen on the video, the issue was with I had to use these 2 dots at the end. So now let's go back. We've got only one error in line 133. Okay, one line 33. Okay, the get previous transaction. Okay, let's just check on our I think it has to do with line 33. It's case D. Let's check on to case D. Case D. Oh, we haven't. Let's check. Okay, let's save. Let's execute. Okay, 19 errors. 19 errors. Oh, there's quite a lot of errors that needs to be fixed. Oh, system. Ugh. Basic. Oh, system. It's line. It has to be okay. System. Dot out. System. Dot out. Okay. Okay, let's check here also. It's good to have errors. Okay, system dot out to print line. Let's double check. System. Okay. Okay. Let's control save. Oof. Okay, now we've got 4 errors. Let's try to fix those errors. We've got 4 errors now. The first one is in line 109. Okay. The first one is in 1. Let's check. It's in case A. Let's check to case A. Case A. Okay. Line 109. Line 109. Line 109. Okay, I see. Balance, and let's check again. Line 125. 125. Okay, line 25 fixed. And let's save. Control S. Let's check. Okay, there's only 2 errors. There's only 2 errors. That's line. There's a duplicate case label. Okay. Duplicate case label. Oh, duplicate case label. It's has to be E, A, B, C, D, E, and also let's check. Control S. Only 1 error. Finally, 1 error. 1 error. Okay. Oh yeah. What I need to do. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. Control S. Saved. And okay. 144. This does not exist. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, what I did. The issue with this was with I missed the so now let's Java banking application. Okay, so now as I've said, the application it welcomes myself. Welcome. Gabriel can fix that. Let's check. Let's go back. Welcome, 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 welcome. Where have I? Okay, come to this. Exit. Okay, this is okay. Enter invalid options. Oh, enter amount. Okay, this is 10,000. Okay, fine. Let's do this. Let's compare first. And oh, perfect, much better. Welcome. It's in order. So now we can utilize by just using the options that we have. So let's just check the balance. The balance is 0. So now let's enter an amount to deposit. And if you want to deposit, we enter B. We enter. Okay, so you just have to enter an amount to withdraw. We can. There's an error that we have that's in relation to. So this is, okay, so there's a bug within our code that we've created, because once we want to let's check. Okay, enter an option. Let's check balance. Okay, there's a bug within our application, but this is how you go about in creating. So now in the next video I will show how to fix the bug that we have, because now every time when we utilize, for instance, when we wanna deposit, for instance, we wanna deposit money, it gives us two options. So it doesn't give us the money that we should deposit. So the good thing is that this application, it consists of the bug, so we need to debug the application and fix the error. So I would give you an exercise to figure out how you can go about in fixing or in debugging this application. So in the next video I'll just show how to debug the application. So you've got a task to do. The task is you need to debug why is it that it doesn't give you the option to deposit the amount. Like for instance, now I want to deposit an amount, so enter an amount. So let's say I have 400 and I've enter an option. When I enter check option, it gives an error. Withdraw an amount 400, check. So it has an error. You can even tell that our application it has a bug, so we need to debug. So on your side, I would love you to determine what is the issue, debug it, and on the next session we'll just go through the error itself. So thank you. I'll be tuning in our next session, where we will discuss what could be the problem in terms of the bug within our application, our banking application. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.